coming back to school with me. We could have done it all so easily.
Hi, my name is Craig Thompson Wood. I'm the board game teacher, back again in sunny Cuba, taking advantage of this opportunity to talk to you about board games on vacation. So as I mentioned before, when you're going on vacation, there's a lot of considerations of things you want to be thinking about before you go packing your bags. So the biggest consideration is that you don't want to be packing a game which has lots of components and things that you could possibly lose. The less components the game has, the better. And you also want to consider, of course, the weight, the size of the box, things like that. But what I thought I'd introduce to you today is a game called Ganz, Schön, which is "That's So Clever" in German, but of course I'm sure I'm butchering the pronunciation. So looking at the report card for Ganz, Schön, I'm going to give the number of players a B. It plays 4 players. 4 players is a B in my book, so it's kind of your standard number size for when it comes to games. So B. For learning, I'm going to give the game a B. It has a lot of mathematics in it in terms of your arithmetic as you're adding up points and even subtracting points as you're looking to say, well, if I go here, I can get this many, here, this is many. So finding the difference between the two gives you, what is the points difference, calculating probabilities of things and such. So it's not heavily invested into the math, but it does certainly have it within it. So for that reason, I give it a B. For fun, I'm going to give the game an A. Every time I played this game with everybody I played with, we've always had a great time. One thing which is a big consideration for me with this game is that there's not a lot of downtime, which is when you're waiting for your turn, because as people are rolling the dice on their turn, you're still watching because you're going to get their leftovers of the dice. So you're still trying to plan where things are going to go, think about your next move, so that way you're not keeping everybody else waiting too. Great to have those games with no downtime, because when they get the downtime, you know what people start to do. So get on their phones and devices and things, and this will help to keep them off it because they are constantly involved in the game. For time, I'm going to give the game a B+. It's the kind of game which can play very quickly. You can play like in 20 minutes to half an hour if you're really fast and really on the ball with it and thinking about what you're doing and able to make quick decisions. But it can also be the kind of game which people can overthink and get into what we call analysis paralysis, where they take too long to think about their turns, trying to come up with every possible plan of where things can go and think and overthink. And so if that's the case, put them on a timer because this is the game they can easily play within a 40-minute period. And so it's the kind of game which you want to include as a fun activity, as a great one to do, or indoor recess or whatever it may be. For cost, I'm going to give the game an A+. This game only costs about $20, and for the amount of value you're going to get from the game from you repeatedly playing it is going to mean that you're going to get a lot of value for your money for this game. So I would highly recommend a game like this for classroom, especially for home, because this is a fun one to play and very easy to introduce to people as well. So when traveling with a game like this, what I recommend doing is, like I say, in consideration of the number of pieces. This game has a score pad, has 6 dice, and it has, well, a pencil, but I'm using dry erase markers because what I did to make this game a little more durable for the traveling purposes is that I laminated it. So the components are laminated. So I took 4 cards off because it's only going to need 4 for the game, maximum 4 players. And now I've laminated, so now you never have to worry about having to run out of the pad and score pad again. And I just take the dry erase markers with me. These are now durable. If they get spilled on or whatever, it's great. They're laminated and protected. Everything went into a Ziploc bag, not even in the original box, because it just takes up that much less space in the suitcase now, so it makes it that much more less impact on my, how much room I have in the suitcase. All right, let me take this to the table and I'll show you how it's played. So in the game Ganz, Schön, you have the 6 dice which represent the 6 different areas of your board. The white is actually a wild dice, but also adds with the blue when you use the blue for this area. So what you're going to do is you're going to roll the dice and you're going to take note of the results. Now you can choose any one of these dice, but you're going to get 3 rolls. So this is your first roll now, and with that you are then going to be taking one of the dice. But any dice you take, anything that is lower than that dice value is lost to you. So for example, if I were to take the 4, I could keep this 4, but then this 2 is not going to be available to me anymore, and it goes to one side, and I can then re-roll the others, but this 2 is now no longer a consideration for me. So but if I take the 2, then I can re-roll all of the dice again. But if I were to take one of the 6s, then I'd only get the other 6, and all the rest would be gone. Meaning I'd only get 2 dice this turn instead of my normal 3. So I don't want to do that. So say I take the 2. The 2 orange means then I'm going to put a 2 into this orange space here. And it goes up onto my board. The other players are still watching at this point. They're waiting for their turn to go. And then I roll one more time. And now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's kind of a cool roll. And so if I say, let's say I take the 1. Now the 1 adds with the 4, giving me a 5. So I look for the number 5 here, and I cross that one off. And then my final roll, I get, now, it doesn't matter if I take the 6 now, because I'm not going to have access to the rest of the dice anymore anyway. So I can take the 6, and I look to the yellow 6, and I cross out the 6 there. So every area is going to have its own special requirements of things that you're looking for. So when you complete a row or a column, you get certain bonuses or points. When you complete this one, for every one you complete, there's a track up here. The more you complete, the more points you're going to get. Plus, as you complete rows or columns, you're getting bonuses. In here, it's the green. It starts off, you have to have a number which is equal to or less than 1. Equal to or greater than 1, equal to or greater than 2, greater than 3, and so on. Orange is strictly going to be the number of points that are on there, but again, different bonuses come available along the way. And then with the purple, the number after it always has to be greater than the number before it. So you want to maybe start high, but if you put a 6, the 6 can always be, it just resets the board. So the 6, any number can come after the 6. Every turn, you're going to get different bonuses, such as re-rolls, taking extra dice faces and things. As I said, I'm not going to go into a full rules explanation of this, just to give you an idea. But so you are then, so as I say, you're taking 3 dice each turn, planning out your moves on your board. At the end of that, the other players are each going to pick one of the 3 dice that are left, add it to their board, and then another player takes their turn. And they go through the motions, and as their turn ends, you will then have 3 dice to choose from for your turn, and so on and so on. You go for the appropriate number of turns. So for a 4-player game, you have 4 turns. For a 3-player game, you have 5 turns. And for a 1 or 2-player game, you have 6 turns. And at the end of it, you're going to then total up your points, which is indicated on the scorecards on the back. So how many points did you score with the yellows, with the blues, with the greens? You total up your oranges, you total up your purples, you add it all up. The foxes, if you complete a row or get to a spot that has the foxes are worth the value of your lowest area. So in say you only scored 10 points here, then all your foxes would be worth 10 points. So it really incentivizes you to make sure that you get as many points in all the areas as you can. Don't try and focus too much on one area. Make sure you focus on all the areas equally to thereby increase your fox value. And in a very sort of quick and dirty nutshell, that is how you play Ganz, Schön, Clever.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. If you have any more questions about Ganz, Schön, Clever, or if you have any other ideas for games you might like to see on the channel, particularly if they're games you can play while on vacation, especially at a nice spot like here on the Cuban beach, then please leave me a message in the comment section below. And while you're down there, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. It really does help. If you have any other ideas for things you might like to see on the channel as well, topics you might like me to discuss, as always, leave me a message in the comment section below. Until next time, I'm Craig Thompson with the Board Game Teacher saying, thanks for coming to the classroom.
Are you coming back to school with me? We could have done it all so